All right, it's Oteil and Mike from the Comes a Time podcast.
How's everybody doing out there?
We want to thank Grateful Dead channel for letting us broadcast from the Dead Forever experience. How many of y'all were at the show last night?
Yeah. How many are still at the show last night? Yeah, me too.
I was wondering how you guys were here this early.
Bro, when you said you wanted to do 10:30 in the morning, I was like, oh no, dude. I was like, do I just stay up?
Yeah, I came in a few days ago. When was it? I'm time lapsing now, but I said to JK, that my bodyguard, I was like, let me get in there at like 10:30 before any of the fans are there, because they'll all be asleep after partying so hard. Man, this place was packed. I was like, oh, wow, we got to get in like super early.
Is it still last night for any of you?
You look remarkably fresh.
That smile has not stopped since last night, I bet.
She's still glowing.
We got to make sure we give a massive shout out to everybody that's here. There's maps back there. There's head count. All of this unbelievable art. I mean, this is literally like Deadhead heaven here, man. And so many great people. Please give them a massive round of applause. And all of go visit every booth. And I mean, Last Prisoner Project is here, I think. Yes. Head count. All of our friends over at Head Count. Maps. Shout out to our buddy Rick Doblin, who we had on the podcast. Person of the Year, I think, in Time Magazine.
Absolutely, man. All the Psychonauts. Paul Stamets was here the other day. Him and Pam Kriskow. That was so cool hanging with them. And So you guys are the guests today. So we're going to take some questions. But first, I want to ask Mike. So you saw Fish here. I'm not asking you to do compare, but you just saw it last night for the first time. How did it hit you?
Oh, my God. I mean, from the very moment that we were on Haight Street, when we were there in San Francisco, and we lifted off, you guys kicked us downhill on a unicycle, bro. Everybody was blown away. Dude, it was like listening to people at an amusement park last night going, whoa! Golden Gate Bridge, oh God, we're in space.
You know what's funny is for weeks I've been saying, man, the sphere isn't up by the deep state just to get people ready for the aliens, right? Because everything about UFOs now is orbs. Yep. You know, it's like a cube inside of an orb, a pyramid inside of an orb. So I started looking at the sphere and I was like, hey. So then when we went to watch the videos, we came in the night before we did our first rehearsal in the sphere. And we sat in the 200s and watched all the videos. Yeah. All the different videos. And the very first one is that one. And then we lift off in the outer space. And I said it out loud. I was like, I told you this is an op to get people ready for the aliens. And it was just like crickets. Nobody said anything. I was like, well, you can believe what you want, but...
You keep talking and then you look over and everyone's in another section. Just you by yourself.
That's okay, because when it happens, it'll be like, I'll be back in my section.
You know what I genuinely really loved about the entire production and everything that was like presented on the screens and stuff was like there was such great dedication to the history and the legacy of the Grateful Dead, the future, the past, all of it in such great taste. And for such an iconographic band, the Dead's got the Steely, the Bears, the Uncle, the lightning bolts, and the Uncle Sam on the motorcycle, Bertha, you name it, right? Yeah. And the whole thing was like, Fish didn't lean into that as much, but the Dead this was perfectly leaned into. And it was a perfect, I think we all were like, this is the inside of my brain, right? That was like what I wanted my like middle school bedroom to look like was the sphere last night. All the way to Pigpen, way up in the top corner. Man. I mean, man, how cool was that? They've somehow put right angles in the sphere.
Yeah, and I just I wanted to shout out the company that did the videos. It's called Treatment, and man, you guys, oh God, wow,
unreal.
Thank you.
everybody's so happy, Oteil, walking around. Like it's so amazing to just walk around a venue where everybody's just ear to ear. Like people aren't walking on the ground. Everyone's floating and just happy and giving each other high fives. And like, I mean, people are peeing and giving each other high fives, getting drinks, giving each other high fives. Like it's just everyone's happy. And the music, look, visually great, but the sound in this place, huh? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
If we want to focus on you, you can literally like focus on you. If we want to focus on Jeff, you can like just focus on the sound is so easily like
I wish I could get out there and do, because it sounds exactly the same to me in my ears. I always go through this. I wish I could be in the audience at one of my own shows, but especially
remember, it's going to
one.
happen. You put it out there last podcast, so it is going to happen.
That's right. I'm going to learn to astral travel, and then I'm going to sit in the audience while I'm playing and actually get to experience it. But that's right.
Yeah, remember Dead Ahead? How cool was that? Because we were hanging at Dead Ahead on the sand during Wolf Bros set, and you were like, how cool to check this out from this angle, and it was like really fun to see.
And thank God you and Arthur and Eric Limarenko were my bodyguards. I had they had me triangulated, but fortunately Deadheads they're nicer fans, and shout out to you guys because it's just a different feeling.
Yeah.
Just even being in here, I shouldn't say even, just wherever we are, it's just different. It's more friendly.
I also have to say, man, in regards to the set list last night and the way that it paralleled the screens and the way that you guys landed us right back home during Brokedown and just like, man, there wasn't a dry eye in the place. Like
I gotta shout out John Mayer for really being proactive on the video package and how it was orchestrated. And he really took a big lead in doing that, and he just did a really great job.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely and Fish was beautiful, and it was different, and it's supposed to be different, you know, like it's apples and pickup trucks, really, you know, it's so different. But this was just like, I guess there were some subtleties that in the beginning when we were in San Francisco, there was a Tesla driving by, and then when we came back, it was all old 1960s vehicles. Simple little subtleties like that make it so special, and like I think were those Bobby's daughters on the stairs of the house? No? That's just a rumor. Okay.
No, I don't think it was.
Interesting. See? You thought that too? Oh, I heard it from you. You're the one spreading the rumors. We found her. A lot of TMZ over here.
We need an Instagram site for all the rumors, just to like aggregate them all. Yeah, but so I can
Tor
know.
MZ, we'll call it.
Yeah, but so much fun, and for me, like being on stage, I kind of know what people are going to see before they see it. So it's fun to watch. It's like, here it comes, you know, and it's like an amusement park. It's like playing being the live show for the biggest IMAX show ever.
Hey, I noticed last night you had your shades on for the whole show.
Yes.
Yeah, future's so bright. Was that after last weekend? Did you decide like this weekend I need to kind of like, was it the vision, like the lights in there, or was it just?
No, it was probably more because my wife asked me, she was like, did you wear the shades for a reason last night? I was like, no, not really. I guess for me, if there was any reason, it's that we are wearing dark clothes the whole time, which they asked us to, I guess, so we wouldn't take away from what's going on visually. And so for me, that's like being in prison. So I was wow. You know, they don't know about my inner Zsa Zsa Gabor. Like a girl needs to have some colors. So
Green Acres, we are there.
I wore this Ankh, and then I didn't have face paint last night because Jess is at home, and I didn't see Chloe before. So I think maybe subconsciously I just went with the Morpheus glasses and the onk.
Well, it
to
worked,
try to,
bro.
like,
It worked.
add something, you know.
It really worked.
A girl's got to do something. So, I got to tell you my favorite Zsa Zsa story. This is when I realized that she was my alter ego. When she was much older and the police didn't remember her anymore, she got pulled over by a cop. And she's used to being let go, you know. So at one point she was like, "Don't you know who I am?" And he's like, "No." She's like, "I'm Zsa Zsa Gabor." He was like, "Exactly." And so she slapped him. I was like, "Yeah, that's my girl." Yes, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So I'm sure if she went before the judge, he remembered her and let her go.
We'll let Zsa Zsa do the cop slapping. I don't think we should be doing anything like that.
No, my black ass ain't
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
don't want you
slapping
slapping any cops, dude. Please don't slap a cop, Oteil. Jesus Christ. Yeah, unless we're around.
Yeah, no, I'm not that crazy.
That's your
I'm
job
crazy.
to slap cops, dude. I instigate, you slap. We're a team. I just want to say first, the weight. First set. Oh, buddy, that was...
I just love when Jeff Kameni takes his verse on the
Oh,
way. You can feel whatever place we're in just start to levitate. It's
Yeah,
so
you
great.
too, Bubba. You too. Seeing you... Oh, stop it.
Kamenti's the showstopper.
Stop it, Zsa Zsa.
When he sings lead, that's when it starts to get really good.
Well, it was both, like, because you sang and then he sang. I think it was your verse, then his, right?
You gotta save the best for last.
Man.
Get that
And then
crowd
that
pop.
tribute during the visuals, during touch and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you guys, man. You really killed it. Let's open it up. Let's chat with you guys.
Yeah, now we don't
so
have any kind of
be cool.
order. Yeah, be nice.
This guy will slap you. So if you guys
I
have
can
a
slap
question-
you. I'm not a. You're not cops. No, I don't want to get sued. It's an overly litigious society.
So we'll do this in a as fashionable. If you want to ask a question, maybe head over here and line up. However you, I don't know, but you're here, so
really, he stood close to
he's
that
been
mic.
waiting. Yeah, he's like
Wait,
first
wait.
time, long time.
First time, long time. First off, just a big shout out. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'm returning this weekend. I was at the last weekend show. It's fantastic. Can you confirm or deny that we may or may not hear some songs that the Dead and Company has played previously before?
I can't confirm or deny any set list stuff because I don't see it until I get to the venue. So the longer I'm on the road, the less I like to know. So I remain ignorant on purpose of many things. What city I'm in, showtime, sound like I don't know. Somebody's
city I'm
going to
in.
text me, and let me know everything. So it goes faster if I don't know what's happening, and I just am like more Ram Dass, be here now about it. So I really don't know. And if I did, which I don't, I'm sure I couldn't tell you. So that another incentive for me to remain ignorant, because then I can be honest and go, I have no idea.
Isn't that right? That's the best 3 words in the world. I don't know.
I'm telling
I saw
you.
the set list. I
Thank you,
saw it.
Oteil.
I saw the set list, and the answer is maybe.
I'll take
right.
it. I'll take
Right here, you come up there.
So, Oteil, first of all, again, thank you, but wow, last night was just mind-blowing in so many different ways. But one of the things that was just so shocking and beautiful was seeing you guys interacting in a way that we never saw from the stage, from the audience on that gigantic screen. How is that? How are you guys? Like, is that changing the way you are on the stage with the smaller stage, and everything you're doing just seems very intimate out there?
Everything is different. Like, it's so, people are like, what's it like? I'm like, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, sonically, because I've used inner ear monitors for like 15 years, it's exactly the same. Although with one difference. I don't know if I smiled or laughed or something in one of my ears, the seal popped a little bit. And so in the Sphere, there's the most enormous, gigantic sonic slapback that I've ever heard in any venue. So if you play a snare, it's like bop, bop. And it's just almost as loud as the original hit. So we were playing this part in the 11, I think, where half the band's doing 11/12s and the other half's doing 12/11s or something like that. I don't count stuff either, but I think that's the general premise. And my ear unsealed, and I could not play. I just had to stop the whole band. I was like, guys, I'm completely lost. So if you don't have your ears all the way in, you literally cannot play. We could not play the show. And any other venue, we could all pull our ears out and put stuff in the monitor and play just fine. It's undoable at the Sphere. But on the other end of that, it's so much better for you guys, which I will never get to hear unless I come see a band at the Sphere, I guess. So it's, but it's, I don't know if it's more intimate or what. I don't know. It's so bananas, man. It's like, that's what I'm saying. People don't need hallucinogens for this. It's such an altered state. Like, it's like, let's not get
All right.
Maybe just one night, because I'm telling you, man.
Didn't you say you want to see yourself on stage, man? I got something that'll fix that.
There's this one thing that you guys probably saw where like the swirling circle of thing, and it's at the very top is the apex, and I felt like I was lifting up into it when we were watching it. And I was like, bro, you do not need acid.
No, and I'll tell you, that's what I even mean about the fish thing, where it's like you guys leaned into the taking us. Like whenever I got freaked out last night, I was like, look at the band. But when when everything was going like this, I'm like, don't look at the band. Like, don't look at the band. I was looking at like my wallet, my pack of gum, just anything that was stationary. I was grabbing people I didn't know. I'm just like, look at me. Are we moving right now?
It's like,
yeah. No, but I hear what I like to echo that sentiment. It's a great point because it's fun watching you guys be so stoked. The sound to us is just so unbelievably good. I'm wondering, like, it's a whole other playing field up there too, because there's not so much stuff on stage. You know what I mean?
Actually, this stage feels bigger to me than our normal stage. When we walked into rehearsal, first of all, it's 6 feet in the air. And I was like,
that's
holy
interesting.
crap, this thing is huge. And then it gets in the Sphere and it looks like half a stick of gum.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, this is bananas, the scale of it. So it is weird that it can feel more intimate when the scale is so much bigger. But it's just so different on so many levels, man. And I think The Dead is a perfect band for this because you just have to be in the moment. It's a total be here now thing. And I think it's why it finally calmed my nervousness, because it's just so different that you just have to be like, well, you're on Mars. What's to be nervous about? Just take it all in.
When on Mars.
Yeah, when on Mars, just take it in.
Be on Mars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great question.
Thank you.
You got a question back here?
And then
Yeah.
you're next.
Thanks a lot for everything and the playing that you're doing. I wonder if you'd tell us about like the evolution of playing with the band. I've been listening since the beginning and hearing the changes on tours. How free is it now working with these guys? What's it like to be on stage and just be loose with the music and to be in that Ram Dass place that you talked about?
You know, it takes time, and it's so funny because someone came up to me and said, oh, I've seen you play, I've seen 140 shows or how many. I was like, God, have I done that many? And then I realized, oh, it's been like 10 years almost. And so it does happen over a decade. I guess I finally do feel comfortable enough to just, Phil Lesh has the best quote. He said, never do it the same way once. And I thought, well, man, you got to be real comfortable with this stuff to get there, But then again, you really don't. So, but now that I am, I feel like I am finally there to where I can just trust myself, trust everyone else. Everyone else can trust me. So if I go off the rails, they're like, okay, let's go with them. Or not. Or whatever, whatever it is, it is. So it's a nice place to be just emotionally. And it just comes with time. And I do feel like we're really, really locked in. I think it took a couple of nights for everybody to get used to the inner ears, because not all of us use it. Guitar players normally don't like it. Jeff was having a hard time with it because I don't know if you guys know what a organ Leslie is, but that whirling thing that makes the whirly sound, if you don't hear the air moving, it sounds thin. And he was like, man, it's hard. It's a hard adjustment. It's an adjustment I made like 15 years ago. And so now I'm used to it. But I felt like that third night, I felt like something happened. Last Saturday, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And then, last night was just, you want to be like you're a school of fish. That's where you're hoping you get to. And I feel like we're getting there finally.
I'm starting to have flashbacks about last night. I'm starting to remember more things. How badass, guys, was it when you, like, that picture of Hunter? How stoked he was. Like, there's a picture of Hunter in, like, the montage that they did, and he's, like, just, I've never seen, he's such, like, a reclusive dude, but it's all the emotion of, like, all the years all in one. And you brought up Phil, and it was so nice to see nice big pictures of Phil and Billy and Pig and everybody, Vince, I mean, you name it, all these great old pictures of Jerry and all that, but it's like it all seems to, like, come together here where you're at that comfort level. I heard a thing with comedy and entertainment and anything, that any project you do, the amount of years you're doing it is like your actual age. So 2 years in, you're a 2-year-old. 5 years in, you're a 5-year-old. So now you're like a fun, playful 10-year-old doing wheelies and shit. Now you're hitting jumps and, like, BMXing and stuff. So
like my son, which is
totally
shot out of a cannon. Like, what's up, Jenny? Shout out to Bee Work by Jenny. She makes all my straps. Yay!
We were having a good time last night.
Oh my God.
Taking comments.
Of course.
You had a question.
Hey, Oteil. Your Ankh was the star of the show last night. Everybody was so dark, and we really saw that. It's beautiful. So
Thank you.
great.
Shout out to Kimo Watanabe for
Yeah,
making this for me. He's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And he does this traditional Hawaiian, like, sculpting, I guess you call it. And I wish you could all feel this thing.
You
It
told me I
feels
could when
like-
we see each other.
Yeah, right? Right? It feels like magic.
It looks like
I know the
magic.
set list. Hang on, guys. Hold on. Shakedown opener. The Ankh told me, not Oteil.
Going, now that here we go with the rumors.
The Ankh writes the set list.
Right. Watch out, tour MZ is right
Tour
here.
MZ.
Tour
Right here.
MZ.
So, you guys, from the fan perspective, right? I've been seeing Dead and versions of them since 1980. So, when you're at a stadium show, you could be up close and we're looking at you in person, or if you're far away, you see a screen, and it's not like high def. But last night was so cool because we got to see you in high def and, like, see all the signals we normally don't get to see at shows, right?
Uh-oh.
No, it was
Oh,
really
boy.
cool. But
You're going to have to wear 2 pairs of sunglasses tonight.
so for me, it was, like, really nerded out, like, Dead stuff to watch you guys, like, more
Good.
intimate. It was super cool. And also our seats vibrate. So, like, there's, like, when drums and space was going, we were, like, feeling it. And then, like, here and there, and there's just, like, it's like a whole sensory thing. So people that are listening, I really want to encourage them to come out, because it's like a different kind of show than you've ever seen before, but you actually feel it too. So, and you see all things that you've never seen before at a Dead show. So it's
I love it. I think it's so cool that people have been following the Dead for so long, especially like since the beginning, could come to the Sphere and have a completely new experience
Yep.
after all those years.
Yeah.
Which is 60 now, or will be next year. That's crazy. It just goes to show you your best days are never behind you. That's my mantra. Even if you're on your deathbed, your best days are never behind you. For sure.
And that one's for free, folks. You know what else I heard a lot of last night was, just in passing, people going, this was the first show I ever sat down at.
Yeah, that was different too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, people were sitting.
They wanted to
Sit
feel
dancing.
those bass bombs in the seats, didn't you,
totally,
ladies?
I
I know.
I kind of liked it, too. Come on up. Yeah. What's up, brother?
Hi, y'all. Sorry. I'm still getting over last night. Probably one of the most sonic experiences I've ever had in my entire life. But I got to ask, on the haptics, what an insane experience. How is the band playing in with the haptics? I mean, you've never had an opportunity to play with that type of experience.
We don't
for
feel
everyone.
it. I don't feel it. You know, the one thing that I feel is I think there's a satellite that goes over real quick.
Yeah.
And it's a super big rumble.
Yeah.
And it rumbles the entire stage. And it catches me by surprise every night. Because usually I'm in control of the bass bombs. And it's just like,
When you got bass bombed.
whoa, what is that? You know? It gets me every night. I feel bad.
The motorcycle got us too.
And I'm a motorcycle rider, so I'm going to ask you guys a question. There's this one thing where you're in outer space, and there's like a rainbow ribbon that looks like a road that keeps going. And so when we were watching it the day before, someone was like, I don't know, it's making me feel a little weird. I think it goes on a little too long. And I was like, I raised my hand. I was like, that could go on forever. It feels like a motorcycle ride into outer space with all the best curves.
It was Mario
Right?
Kart, dude, right? Anybody else trip out on Mario Kart for a minute there? Yeah. I was like, am I in my dorm room doing gravity hits again?
Man, I'm glad you guys like that, because I could zone out on that forever. And all completely straight. I was just like, yes, give me more.
Oh, dude, it's so amazing. And I love how you're such a lover of sea turtles. And the thing that you can see coming from the other angle, because we talked about that.
I see it first before you guys do, because all the other stuff is behind me, but the sea turtle comes from behind you guys.
Yeah.
There's my come to Papa. I love that, man.
Questions? Who else has a question? Anybody else have questions? Jenny has one.
Well, I don't have a question, but I have comments.
Comments
Of
are
course.
welcome.
So as far as musically goes, last night, what I experienced with the band was the most cohesive, rocking, freeing experience of Dead & Company yet.
Thank
I
you.
really have not felt exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, and it was so much more emotional than I expected, especially Broke Down Palace. I was a little bit of a mess. I had to reel it in, you know,
Yeah.
of course. But I don't know if it's just the graphics or if it was the band was, like I said, cohesive more than
I think it is more. I think, honestly, I was saying to John and Jeff last night, you know, the minuses from doing inner ear monitors are what they are. It doesn't sound like a live gig. It sounds like you're in the studio, which is not what you want to feel like when you're playing live. But the weird way that it just sounds one weird way. So when you play live every night, you have this amp that you know sounds like $1 million. And then one night it sounds weird in this way. The next night it sounds weird in that way. About every 15th night it sounds perfect. And then you're back to it, the roulette wheel. And with my ears, it sounds bad one way, which I'm now used to. And that's how it sounds when I record in the studio. So I just get used to it. And then the pluses become apparent. And I think John and Jeff and Bob are starting to realize the pluses. Like, oh, well, that sucks, but this actually is great, and that's great, and that's great. And I think it may be tightening us up. This is all speculation, and I'm speaking for them. I'll have to let them speak for themselves.
Of course.
But I think it is having an effect, because those pluses is nuance. Like, really subtle differences are bigger in your inner ear monitors when everything else is sealed out. And I think that's where the cohesion
is
coming
so
from.
smooth.
I think
and it's
real.
still raw and it's just
Yes.
absolutely visceral, but it was just it was so free. And even dancing, it's not like I'm scared to dance or by any means, but like it was brighter than I'm used to at a concert. And I was like,
nice.
oh, is that going to be weird? And it's not at all. Like the graphics, I think, help with that. Of course, like everybody's looking around, so you are dancing like nobody's watching. Because nobody is,
Yes.
right?
That's right.
Because nobody is.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Oh.
How are your straps looking up there,
Oh
blown
my
up
goodness,
big
it's
at the
so
sphere, huh?
beautiful, so good. I know it's like a life size.
Oh, should we tell
And it even-
Oteil what we decided we're gonna do?
Yes,
We're gonna change the comedy game, bro.
we are.
We're doing a microphone sheath she's going to make me a leather microphone holster. So when I go on stage, I could just whip out my microphone.
Yes, a
like
beaded microphone.
Yes.
and then plug it in and just play it. Yeah. We're changing the comedy.
We
game.
are.
We're bringing
Bring your
straps
own.
to stand up.
Strap on your mic.
Strap on that mic. I love it. If you'll pardon the pun.
I know. I like the puns.
That's Jaja saying that.
Strap it on, Mike. Oh, man.
I saw another hand come up back there. Did somebody have? There you
Come
are.
on
Come on
forward.
over.
Come on forward.
How cool is this?
Make your way up to the rail.
What's up, man?
How we doing? So
Great.
first of all, thank you so much for all the enjoyment and just connection to emotions you guys have brought us over the years. So that's something I want to ask you. So like something I really connect with is, you know, my soul with like Broke Down Palace, Row Jimmy Row. Is there an emotion or song that you really connect with, like on a?
Man, so many. I mean, obviously all the ballads, you know. The ballads were the ones that made me realize how much I liked the Grateful Dead because of just the writing. And I would text a bunch of jazz musician friends of mine that slept on it like I did and go, man, you need to learn these 8 songs and then come back and tell me what you think. So all the ballads got me, Bob's and Jerry's. They all, like, I love Black Throated Wind so much.
Yeah.
But then, you know, Cassidy's not a ballad. Like, I love, you know, like, there's so many. I couldn't pick. They're all so emotional. I'll tell you this. After my brother passed away, routinely I play Grateful Dead around the house, but I don't microscope listen to it. I kind of listen to it in the background, and then something different always catches my attention. Like, that's how I found out about The Long Eyes of the World. I was like, what the hell is this? There's a whole nother section, The Eyes of the World, I didn't know about, you know? And I'm texting guys in the back, yo, what's up with this Eyes of the World, you know? But after my brother died, I was playing it around the house, and man, so many times Jerry's guitar and Jerry's voice would just stop. I would realize that I had just stopped doing whatever I was doing, and it was just super healing because I was hurting bad, you know. And so it's throughout the music. It's through. I couldn't pick a song. You know, I could say, yeah, China Doll, or I could do, you know, I could pick one, but it's all of it, you know, like. And I really learned that after Kofi passed away, just playing it around the house. It just really was healing, super healing. And all the guys, not just Jerry, all of it. The whole thing in totality is a very, it's like a salve. So
It was really awesome to see Bobby sing in Days Between last night. And that screen, like Jenny mentioned, you're getting this clear picture that we don't normally. I mean, it's a 5-story Bobby bust, basically. And it's just, you're looking at him and his, like, you know, how time, you know, we're all getting older, and him singing those lyrics, and then younger pictures of him up there, and we're all here at this state-of-the-art thing that I'm sure Jerry would have just loved. And it's just awesome to see that kind of, like, the timelessness of those lyrics, and it really, it gives me goosebumps even right now thinking about it.
yeah, Bob gets me a lot of stuff.
He's channeling,
man.
like, everybody that's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Literally everybody
that
that's not
emotion.
here anymore.
And you can't get that any other way than that many years and being a survivor, you know. And my hat's off to all those guys for still being here. I mean, Mickey's 80, and he's got more energy
You're not supposed to
than
say
I've
that.
ever
Lindsay.
seen, and more than me. And I'm like, what? I mean, yes, he's a magical creature. He's a goblin. He has, you know, extra
Spock.
spirit power. But, you know, still, it's like, wow, man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And you see him, and he's just like, there's lasers coming out of his eyes. And the man hits hard. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It's, that plexiglass ain't up there for nothing. They're trying to keep it quiet on stage.
He's
You
like
need it.
He's like a kid in a candy store. He hit the beam early last night, And you hear people going, "He's on the beam. He's on the
Man,
beam."
those
Like
graphics-
security.
What about the graphics with the beam? JK was like, "We need you to get you a yoga mat so you can lie down flat." I was like,
That's what I
try to do that tonight."
I said, Oteil, I said, if they had a suggestion box, I'd say this place needs hammocks.
The hammock section.
The hammock section. We all just lay there.
Oh my God.
Did you have a question? Were you raising your hand? Oh, you
Come
do.
on up,
Go for
man.
it, man.
You have one too, didn't you? Come on over.
Come on over.
Hey, so really just wanted to thank you. Amazing show. I so love how the history is being respected. It's showing off, but then it's all about future possibilities too. It's just the way everything is being honored, and the future looks amazing. Just so thankful.
Thank you so much. I think one of the things that's a leg up that the Dead have on other bands doing something like this is just 60 years of iconography. I mean, there's so much to go. I mean, just that part where they show all the passes and tickets. I don't know if you guys know, but that's all Jay Blakesberg's passes and tickets and memorabilia and stuff. I mean, that's all from like one person. You know, it goes
My
back
spirit
so
animal's
far.
here.
Yes! All right. I love it.
Oh, I knew you were here, man.
We got a dancing
Please take
bear.
pictures and tag us in these.
Yes.
Yes. Come on over.
Come on up.
Hi, baby.
What's up? I love it. We got a
Yes.
real
Honoring
dancing
the past
bear.
right there.
Flexing. How'd you like the show last night? Thumbs up? Yeah. This is too much.
All right, you
Can we
had a
do this
question?
every day?
No.
Hi, Oteil. If you could tell us what's the song that brings you the greatest joy to sing when you're on stage? Do you have a song that?
Well, I sing all the sad ones. But I'm a melancholy type of guy. Like, I'm Pisces moon, Cancer rising. I'm all mud in my chart, you know. So I like that kind of melancholy thing. But what's the song that brings me the most joy? I don't know. I really love Cassidy. And I'd have to think. There's so many, you know, there's different ones. There's like different flavors of joy.
Thank you.
Thank you to our dancing bear.
God, I wish I could just cuddle that. I need a hug from a bear. A dead bear.
I was going to say, I know
Strap
someone
on your
that
mic.
would
Strap on your
help
mic.
you.
I guess my inner Zsa Zsa just came out.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop now. But yeah, there's different. Like St. Stephen's gets me really fired up for some reason now. But we started doing that more recently, I guess, than some of the other stuff. But I don't know. There's just honestly, Black-Throated Wind, Weather Report Suite,
You have to let it
Terrapin. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, Ripple. Come on. You know. Gosh, there's so many. There's so many. Joy abounds. You have a question back there?
Too. Go for it.
Can you come up to the mic? I'm sorry,
Oh, here,
I
we
can't
got
hear
somebody
you with
right
my,
here. Go for it.
Just want to thank you. Came out from Boca Raton, Florida. You might
Boca
have heard of
Raton
it.
in the house. Hey, you ever see the psychedelics going by on our tie-dyes and on our bicycles?
Yes.
You have? All right. Shout out to the psychedelics.
And seeing you play locally, just want to thank you and to let everyone know who's thinking about coming out to the Sphere. It's been said already, but I just want to echo the sentiment that I've been to a million Dead shows, all different versions. This is a completely different experience, and I think everyone needs to come out who's listening at home and experience it.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Thank you, Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
It's
Baba Booey to y'all.
it's definitely an experience, for sure.
Can you talk in the mic?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's signed. Oh, great.
Oh, he's signing. Okay.
I'm deaf, and my wife
up?
and I. I'm deaf, and my wife and I we interpret for a lot of the deaf, and company shows. at the death zone.
Yes.
I'm getting all nervous.
That's all right.
At the death zone,
Yes.
I want to know how you feel about the death, attending yourself, the dynamic interpretation of your songs and all of that. What do you feel about that whole experience?
I think it's great. You know, a long time ago, I think I was 19 years old, and this couple came out to, I played in a top 40 cover band called The Squares. Shout out to all those guys in Virginia Beach. And there was a
The
couple
Squares.
that came out, and they were both deaf. And they were dancing all night long. And they were dancing better than a lot of, you know how white folks are sometimes. I'm just saying.
All right.
This was a black couple, and they were like on point. I was like, and then I saw them signing to each other, and I walked up and I was like, whoa, you guys are both deaf? And they were like, yeah. And I said, but you're dancing so good, like better than a lot of the people here. And they said, well, we can feel all the vibrations in the floor. And I was like, wow. And that's why I like to play barefoot, because I can feel the vibrations in my feet. And if I back up to the amp, I can feel it on the back of my legs and in my butt. So it was like, wow. So ever since then, I've been totally thrilled by deaf people coming out to the show. And I'm glad that we're doing the signing so that you can get the lyrical part too, because the couple that was out with us didn't get that part. But I think it's great.
It's amazing. And can I ask, what did you think about your experience here last night, this venue?
Well, we interpreted the song last night. We were up to 88 steps and
Yeah.
09 and interpreted the song, and it was
hard to focus.
Yeah.
Hard to focus. All that was a great experience. Really recommending highly for everybody to go.
Yeah.
Really both.
I'm
That's
so
fantastic.
delighted that
Yeah.
you had a
Thank
great
you.
time, man. Thank you so
that's
much.
And that's
Seriously.
an amazing element of this venue. Is it's every sense is having like, I mean, I swear there's breezes at times, right? Like there's weird, yeah. Or we're all just getting breathed on by someone tripping too hard behind us, just going, I can't take this anymore. We had an interesting, I don't know who was at Dead Ahead, but all the synchronistic stuff that happens, we were talking about it when all of a sudden it started to rain during Looks Like Rain, and there was no rain in the forecast and not a cloud in the sky, and we're all standing there like big drops of rain are hitting us sideways.
Yeah.
And we talked about it afterwards, and you're like, you saw that rain too? It poured during Looks Like Rain, and then it stopped.
Mike's looking on his radar on the phone. There's nothing. And it's raining sideways where we are. And I was like, okay.
Magic
you don't
happens.
believe in miracles. I don't know what to tell you, but we get them all the time.
That's so neat. I'm so happy that he came up and told us that.
Oh, yes. Man, I just got a book. I was just given a book about fairies. And I'm going to tell you, man, y'all know about me and the Elves. Like, I'm pro elf. I have an elf offering on top of my amp every night because they'll mess with your electronics. See, once they know...
Especially these Vegas elves, dude. I wouldn't want to mess with a Vegas elf. They're all in the mafia.
Dude. See, once they know that you know about them, you're on the hook forever because they're like, no. You know.
You got to knock at your door.
We're going to mess with your electronics unless you put the booze out for us. We like the booze, you know. But I found out about fairies. Like, fairies are not all good. There's fairy stories where they kidnap your kids and stuff. There's some mean-ass fairies. I was like, uh-oh. I need to start leaving something out for them.
Oh, God.
We want all the good fairies.
Any other questions? Do we have any other? Can you come
One
over
right here.
and
Come
chat?
on forward. Come on and ride that rail, mama.
Also, everyone hydrate. My God.
Yes, jeez.
It's
Vegas.
hot out there.
First of all, congratulations on an amazing show last night. It was incredible. I'm a new Dead fan. I just discovered the band a couple of years ago.
You came because of Mayor, right?
And I
I'm just kidding.
Hey, quit judging, man.
Hey, no judgment.
She came from the Comes a Time
We
podcast.
love all Mayor fans.
No, I really, it was an unbelievable experience. I'm just curious. Did you, in preparing for the Sphere show, did you see U2 and Fish, and did you guys sneak into that show, those shows?
when I'm not on the road, I am home with my kids.
Okay.
I don't go see nothing. I went to see Earth, Wind, and Fire because I never saw them before, and they're like my childhood heroes. And they were playing in West Palm. They were like really close. But no, I didn't see U2 or Fish. I got a bunch of videos because obviously so many of my friends.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Mike Fenoya and Eric Limarenko might be the two biggest Fish fans alive.
Well, and my husband Scott, who's here, and
Yes.
shout out to Andrew and Lisa, who got me into the Dead. And I want to
Andrew
say
and
thank
Lisa,
you so
bless
much.
you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
really glad, as a new Dead
Yeah.
fan, how did it hit you? I mean, I know the Sphere is part of it too, but just musically.
I was lucky enough to be at Terrapin Crossroads having lunch one day, and I really wasn't a Dead fan. And all of a sudden, I started hearing this beautiful music, and I turned to my husband. I'm like, "What are they playing?" He goes, "Pam, this is the Dead." And it was Dark Star, which did a great job last night.
That's great.
And I have fallen in love with the music since then. Listen to the Dead channel all the time, and just thank you so much. And you're amazing. And congratulations all the years with the Allman Brothers. Big
Thank
fan.
you.
Yeah, Baba.
Thank you.
That's so cool to like find the dead at lunch. They're like, she's like, "Can I have a turkey club?" They're like, "This pairs well with a 73 Mind Left Body Jam, actually."
And thanks for the almond shout out, because my nephew, he posted this thing and I couldn't hear it at first, but finally I listened to it, and it's this lady, she's like, she has a little video that she's taken of the band. She goes, "Oteil is so good with this band because he was with the Allman Brothers band." And I was like, all right, I'm going to have to repost that. Yeah, the Beacon. And you know, it was cool. I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, the Beacon was the defining residency of my life. You know, I don't even know how many shows I played there. We did like 15 to 20 every year, every March at the Beacon.
Yeah.
And then someone told me, yeah, the sound system for the Sphere was tested out at the Beacon by Trey.
Yeah, I told you that.
And I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
wow. So there's like this
Trey
whole
was
connection.
Trey was the first musician to play through this sound system when he was doing his Beacon jams at or whatever, and so he was the first to,
And I ran into Trey at the hotel. I came out of the gym. It was so funny. There was this guy out there by the pool. I was going to the hot tub. I do like really early morning workouts. And there was this guy with a mask and snorkel at the pool. And I was like, cool. You know, Jess kind of laughs at me for bringing my mask and snorkel on the road. And I was like, this guy knows what's up, man. But I couldn't see it was him. And then he takes me. He's like, no way. And I looked up and it's Trey. I was like, oh, shoot.
Trey in a pool with a mask and snorkel.
I was like, what's up, dude? So we like, it was his wife's birthday. Yeah, we were like hanging out, talking for a long time. So he was telling me, oh, man, I got some good Grateful Dead 50 stories, none of which I can tell.
Yeah.
But it was so fun to talk to him about
You know what?
all
You know what's so great too about? I have to come to Vegas to do stand up and stuff, and I don't.
And shout out, where are you going to be at?
Oh, June 17th to the 24th at the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. 2 shows a night, so come hang out if you guys are around. But what's great is I love that smattering of like 3 applause. No, it's cool. It's cool. I know who I'm sitting next to. Shout out Oteil. No, but you know what's great? Vegas is whatever, right? But it's so nice to see all the Dead freaks taking over Vegas. That's what I was going to say. Every time I'm here, it's like, because look, there's whatever convention, there's a candy convention going on. There's people that are selling payroll are probably having a convention, but we're having a convention, right? And it's so neat to see someone in like a $5,000 dress, like going out on a bachelorette party, and then some dude just running
In
by
a
like
$3
in a
dress.
$3 dress. And the fact that like there's a shakedown at the Tuscany that got taken over, like an actual like
I gotta go.
yeah, like they took
Sorry,
over a
JK.
hotel. Like shout out to the fans, dude. We're like really taking over this joint and doing it respectfully and doing it right. Like
I hope.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
No,
dude.
I know we are.
Yeah.
There was like a EDM. I thought we were gonna have like a face-off last week because there was a big EDM thing here,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, everybody, I know there's a little drug crossover. Calm down.
Yeah.
Can't we all get along?
That's a good drug war. Throwing mushrooms at people, throwing Molly at us. It's like, just like a dolphin catching them in the middle. Keep it coming.
Oh, thank God my kids aren't listening to this stuff yet. I have no idea what it means.
Do we have any other questions? Yep, right here. Bring
Come
it over.
on forward. Come ride that rail.
So over the years, I've seen you play with like so many talented lead guitar players, like Jimmy Herring,
I've gotten
Derek
lucky.
Chucks, obviously, John Mayer. I was wondering how you kind of, as a bassist, approach playing with guys like that, who can kind of take off at any moment, and if, as a bassist, you feel a responsibility to kind of rein them in at moments, and how you do that
No.
musically or through.
I feel
or
like,
through like
here's
you know,
how I
signals
feel
or
about
anything
it.
like that.
It takes time. I think it really takes time. I played with Jimmy Herring for so long, and Derek Trucks for so long, and Warren Haynes, and I gotta shout out Jack Pearson, man. People sleep on Jack Pearson. They just do not realize what a genius this guy is. And many others, but I approach them all individually. John's actually been the hardest for me, but I think now I'm starting to understand him better. It takes time.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, he'll change his mind and he'll want to do something. I think he wants to do something and he wants to do something else, and I found myself second guessing him a lot. And now I'm kind of more patient. I'm trying to wait and see where he wants to go. But typically, like especially in the Allman Brothers and in any band, at some point the guitarist is going to want to soar. So I kind of picture myself like a dragon, and that they're riding on my back, and
Hell
then
yeah.
I can get them to go higher than they would normally go by themselves.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm definitely not trying to rein them in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to let them take the reins, but then, when they kick the spurs in and they want to go high, then I'm like, all right, let's leave the planet.
Yeah.
Because you move a lot of air with bass, and so I can create a lot. I can create an avalanche.
Yeah.
Basically, And so you got to wait to do it when it's the right time. It's like, no, you're running me over, so I'm sorry, and I'll pull back. But that's how I kind of picture it in my mind.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's a great idea for a next visual. The dragon with somebody like digging spurs into it.
It's a dragon with matches. I know my wife, shout out to
Tor
Jess
MZ.
Burbridge. She is like doing all these dragons now in ceramics. And I'm born the year of the dragon. And this is the year of the dragon. So, yeah, it's time to fly, roar, and scorch. What's up,
man?
bro?
Hey, man.
Love that shirt.
Oh, I love
wow,
it
I
too.
got to get that.
It's pretty sick, right?
That's a sick
Why don't you give
Jerry
it to him?
shirt.
I can. I'm
No,
I'll
no,
give it
no,
to you
no,
right
no.
now. I'll take it off.
How much do you love Oteil?
I really do. Like,
He would do.
Trade it for the Ankh.
I would.
Oh, that
no,
Ankh
that's probably worth
The
more than
Ankh
my
writes
shirt.
the sets, man.
I'll be the all-powerful deadhead if I had that. I'll know everything by that.
Yeah.
Oteil, I just had to ask. First, are you the first man of color to play at the Sphere? Like,
Oh, I don't know.
I think you might be, right?
Wow.
I'm just thinking about the bands. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wow. Now I can be in the National Museum of African American History.
if you weren't already like on the list of inductees that are going to happen.
Yeah.
My question.
Wow, that's cool.
Like on that, the legacy, the impact. Like last night cemented the fact that this is changing the way that live music is going to be perceived over the next decade and beyond. What is it like to have that on your shoulders? Like, that's immense. That's.
I try not to think about it. It's funny. There's been things. I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months, so now I know when something historic is happening as it's happening. When I was younger, I didn't, and now when I read back in articles or see in books or something, and I'm like, oh wow, that was historic, and I didn't even realize it because I was young and stupid. Yeah. But I think the Allman Brothers' 40th anniversary at the Beacon was one of the first ones when I was like, hey, man, when people all over, musicians, really well-known musicians from all over the world, really, were like, hey, man, can I get in on this? Yeah. And, then Peter Frampton called and wanted to sit in and, all these, and I was like, okay, you really need to savor this. Be aware of these moments. And so I'm definitely aware of that now in the Sphere because it's so new and because I think the Dead is just the perfect band for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
At this point in time, you know, it's just all coming together. So yeah, I am very cognizant of that and super grateful. And that's why I want to be straight for it, honestly, man. Like, I really want to take it all in. And I can't wait for my kids to come. You know, my wife texted me. She was like, have a great show tonight. I was like, you're usually asleep by now. You know, she was like pumped up at home, you know, and I could just feel her excitement from home. It made me feel great. I was like, wow, this is really something. And the fans, the Grateful Dead fans, I've said it 10 times already, but they're just different. It's a different community. And so thank you guys for making it feel so loving, you know? It's the best.
And it's interesting to say, like, I don't even think of it as like on your shoulders. I think you're on its shoulders, right?
I feel like
the
I'm
scene
riding
is
it,
not going in. It's only getting bigger and better. How unbelievable is this scene and this music? Every single state every county has their 5 or 10 Dead cover bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No other band has this, like, just spread.
It's crazy to think because, you know, sometimes I think I could be stranded, like, anywhere. And if I can have, like, 1 bar of signal on my phone, I could be rescued. Just throw up the Steely, like, a bat signal. You know what I mean? And someone will be like, yo, man, my friend's like a mile from you. Hold on. You know? Like, it's literally like you could go anywhere in the world, you know? And that's a cool feeling, you know?
And then you'll get rescued, and the whole ride to the rescue is going to be like the Chris Farley show. Like, Oteil, do you remember that time when you sang Fire on the Mountain? Oh, it was awesome.
Hey, as long as they have a vape pen, I'm good.
Like, I'm sleeping over here.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but pass me that vape pen again and see if I can bring it back. Thank you, and that is a wicked shirt. I got to find out where you got that because I want that.
If you want it, we can talk later. Let me know. Thanks for what you do for the culture, man. I mean, like, literally seeing a brown man on the stage, it's cool. Like, it's
Thank
different.
you.
And like, I mean, like, we can look around here. Like, it's weird to be in that environment, but I see you, and it's just everything feels normal.
It's funny because when I see like black and brown people in the audience, we're like, "Yo, what's up?" You know, it's like you're on the ski lift. You know,
you're on the ski lift. Dead Tour is the ski lift for sure. A lot more than one way.
Thank you,
oh,
man.
dude, check out that shirt, Oteil. Can you come over? Can you see
that?
Oh,
the wrestling.
That's
Grateful
the shirt.
Dead shirt.
I knew there was a reason I brought this.
Oh, wow.
My God. Is
Bobby, Trey,
is that
and Jerry.
Phil?
No, it's Trey.
No, it's Trey.
Trey, Bobby, and Jerry. Whoa, it is? Oh, it's Phil. Yeah,
It's Phil.
I'm not on my glasses on.
Oh my God,
World
Jerry
champions.
as Andre the Giant. Yes, please.
Oh wow.
I love it. See,
That's
I'm a
so
big. I
cool.
got into professional wrestling recently, and I love it so much.
Happy birthday!
What's your name?
Happy birthday, Janine.
Happy birthday, and thank you for the wrestling Grateful Dead shirt.
Give it to you. I just have to borrow my husband's shirt and put it on.
He's a genius. Hey, I heard Swerve Strickland from AEW was in the house last night. Bro,
Yeah.
shout out to Swerve Strickland and any of the AEW people. Yes, please come on out. I want to meet you. I think they're doing a show
Sunday night.
and
I'm
I
going.
can't go.
I'm going. Never miss a Sunday show, they say. But
You know, it might be going later than ours, huh? Maybe I could catch some.
yeah, come.
Oh my God, I want to see Mark Henry. I got so many AEW people I love. But sorry, I won't get off. My wife's probably like, get off the wrestling.
And we got a question. Yeah, I inadvertently got you, and I was like, DDP yoga, and you're like, what? Who's DDP? And I was like, sit down, Oteil.
Oh my God.
It's so fun seeing you become a 12-year-old white teenager
Never
in the
too
80s.
late. Never too late to have a happy childhood.
Hey, Oteil. I wanted you to talk about your band, Oteil and Friends. I saw you guys at Dead Ahead and down at the Cap, and like blowing my mind with your band. And you just introduced me to these other musicians that I didn't know. So talk to me a little bit about your band.
Well, my band is just a cast of crazy people, but I've met them all through the jam band scene over the years. Like I probably met Steve Kimmock first, like long time ago. I think the ARU was playing with his band at Trax in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I'm gonna say 1991 or 2, maybe. And me and Jimmy Herring were just like, he has the best guitar tone of anyone ever. And then we found out every time he changed guitars, it's like he has all the best guitar tones of anyone ever. And so, but then we also sometimes we get the pleasure of playing with Melvin Seals, which is always
The
great.
sweetest guy in the world.
The Reverend. Oh man, he's playing the Warfield with him was a different thing. And then we have Johnny Kimmock on drums, Steve's son, who I remember from when he was really little, and now he's just a crushing drummer, playing all styles. Lamar Williams Jr. sings with us. He's a wonderful singer from Macon, Georgia. His dad, Lamar Williams Sr., replaced Barry Oakley Sr. in the Allman Brothers when he died, which was the year after Dwayne died. And then Lamar's dad replaced him. And so I met Lamar probably 97 with the Allman Brothers. He was really young and playing bass. And I gave him a bass. I didn't know he sang. And then all these years later, he contacted me and said, yeah, I'm a singer. I'm working on. So we started working on tunes together, some of which we played at Dead Ahead. We played the first banjo tune that we wrote like 10 years ago called Love and War, at Dead Ahead.
Yeah.
And I just got to say, man, Lamar sings Greg Allman better than anybody, him and Junior Mack. And again, they're both black. And when you realize why, because Greg is singing like he's channeling that Macon, Georgia black church singing, which is what Lamar is, and he just crushes it. He's even adding some things to it that just blow my mind, But Greg, to me, is the greatest white blues singer ever. I don't think anyone can touch him. I really don't, man. And his middle name is Lenoir, which means the black. So, in Africa, what you name somebody has an effect, and I think it worked on him.
That version of Dreams down there, when I heard the first couple of notes, I was,
Dude.
that
When Lamar sings Dreams, you should hear him sing Please Call Home. I just start crying. He brings me to tears. And then there's this one tune called Time for the Sun to Rise.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an Earl Hooker tune that I literally cry every time he sings it, And but then we have Jason Crosby on keyboards, who also plays with Phil Lesh, plays with Jackson Brown.
Yep.
He played with Susan Tedeschi back in the day, played with Oteil and the Peacemakers back in the day, played with Robert Randolph.
Yep.
He's been on the scene a really long time. I actually met him the first time he reminded me was Solar Circus. I think in like 91 or something. Like he must have been a kid, And then we have Tom Guarna on guitar. He's a New York jazz guy who we've brought over into Grateful Dead world. And now these deadheads show up at his jazz gigs and help him sell the place out and bring him his favorite pizza. He's like, do they bring him jars of weed? He's like, this is amazing. I was like, I told you, man. You gotta get it.
He's doing a jazz show, and one voice in the back's like, Unbroken Chain!
Dark Star! But he's really loving the music and really growing in it. And we just been having a blast. Sometimes we have Jen Hartswick
I was going to say,
and Natalie
Jen and
Cressman
Natalie
play
were,
with
like,
us.
Totally incredible.
So
Blew
great.
my socks off, honestly. They
Yeah.
were incredible down in Mexico. Yeah.
And we used to have James Casey too before he passed. It was heartbreaking, but the three of them were just too much together. It was like having 9 people because you have 3 horn players, 3 background singers, and 3 lead singers. So I mean, it's just they're amazing. their chemistry together.
I wish more of your music for Oteil and Friends was available live. Nugs has the Mexican show, but it would be great to hear more of your live
Well, we're
music from
going on
Oteil.
tour this fall,
I'm
and
seeing you
so
at the Cap, yeah.
there's going to
Yeah.
be some more out there.
I'll see you
We're
at the
going to be
Cap.
bringing you some
Thank
more.
You, Oteil, yeah.
And every so often, you got the great Pete Lavazzoli with you.
Yes,
You
and
can't
Pete
forget him.
Lavazzoli plays drums with us sometimes, and
Yep.
we have a rotating cast. Dwayne Betts has joined us on guitar a bunch, and shout out to him. So sad for his dad's passing, and yeah, man, it's been quite a ride with Oteil and Friends, and we're just getting started for sure.
Yeah, baby. Bill Murray has a question.
Hey, Zach Steed. Hey, Oteil.
What's up, dude? Oh my God, I recognize you.
Yeah, how
You're
are you?
looking good.
Yeah, thanks. You too. You too. So
My
Kelly, my
boyfriend.
wife, is with me. We've been to I don't know how many Dead and Company shows, but we started with Playing in the Sand. Well, that ain't where we started, but we did do our honeymoon there.
Nice.
But one of the great honors and privileges of my life is when you played bass with the Steed Brothers to open
Yeah.
for Ralph Stanley.
Woo! Dr. Ralph
Dr.
Stanley.
Ralph.
I got him to sign my banjo.
Yeah.
He put Doctor on there. I was like, yeah.
You should have. These folks should have seen the Bluegrass great that made up his band watching you from this side stage play bass. They'd never seen anything like it. But it made me think about, maybe a lot of these people don't know about your time in Atlanta with Matt Mundy and Jeff Mosier and your affinity for bluegrass and your hobby of playing bluegrass. And also, are you still playing banjo? And
Yes.
are you getting an opportunity to play any hardcore bluegrass?
Well, sometimes it's rare. I do more of it on stage with Dead and Company. Like when we do Cumberland Blues, that's all bluegrass to me. That's how I approach it, And I lived in Birmingham, Alabama also for 18 years. So my time there and in Atlanta, the first bluegrass players I ever saw was Matt Mundy and Scott Vestal on banjo. Mark Mundy was on guitar. These are like the baddest bluegrass players alive. And so my mouth was hanging open. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I didn't really know anything about the music, but I know extremely high level of musicianship when I see and hear it. And this was just off the scale, And then, of course, Mosier turned me on to Bela Fleck, who my old friends Victor and Roy Wooten were playing with at the time. And Reverend Mosier, I lived with him in 1988, and he's the one that really took me down the bluegrass rabbit hole, and where I learned the history. And he had a radio show called Born in a Barn where they would come play bluegrass live on the radio.
I played that with him.
Yeah. And so he would take me to these bluegrass festivals. I'd be like the first black guy to ever play there, and I learned these fiddle tunes. So fiddle tunes reminded me of bebop jazz songs because they're like, and I was like, well, I should learn that. Well, nobody ever seen people play fiddle tunes on the bass before. And so Mosier, I'm not even thinking that much. I'm just thinking this will be cool. He starts taking me around just to mess with people, and we had so much fun. And he's the one that told me, he was like, you're supposed to play banjo. This is your instrument. I was like, what do you mean it's my instrument? I'm 24 or 5. I know nothing about it. He was like, black people, it's your instrument. I was like, what on earth are you talking about? He said, banjo comes from Africa. I was like, what? And if you watch the documentary that Bela did called Throw Down Your Heart, he goes to the countries in Africa where banjo originated and jams with them. Yeah. And so it was like really, and that's why when Jess, my wife, and I first got married, she moved to Africa to work with mountain gorillas for a whole year, the first year we were married. She split. And I was so depressed, I picked up her banjo. And it was Jerry, who I thought, man, he got so good on it, maybe I can do it. I didn't know it was his first instrument. But I listened to Olden in the Way. I love that stuff so much and got to play with Vassar at Spirit of Sewanee and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just try to do this. I have all this time on my hands. And that's when I wrote all those banjo tunes that we're now going to go record at the end of the year. But I really miss playing bluegrass in that setting, where I tell people all the time, like, there's no place you could go other than a bluegrass festival where you go to a concert and everybody in the audience brought their instruments. You know? And they're playing all over the place, in the parking lot, just everywhere. And it's such a beautiful way to learn to play music, not in school, but just by doing it. And, you sit there and you play rhythm, and the guy who's better is going to take all the solos, but you're not excluded.
Yeah, I'm the rhythm guy.
No, get out of here, man. We done played together,
Well, Jerry, the whole culture of taping around the dead came directly from bluegrass, because he went to all the bluegrass festivals to follow Bill Monroe around.
Yeah.
And everybody taped at bluegrass festivals.
Yeah,
so he thought that was what was normal. So the whole culture around taping comes from bluegrass. So.
See, I'm glad. This is one of those things where I say all the time, I'm glad I lived long enough to learn that, because I wouldn't have known that before today. And that's really cool, because that's a huge part of our culture, of the Grateful Dead culture. Huge.
Yeah. Well, I've got a live recording of our set with opening for Ralph Stanley.
You got to send me that, dude. I want to hear it. Yeah, for sure.
It's good to see you, man.
We got the light here to wrap up, but here, let's do like maybe one more.
Hey, Oteil, great to see you. Just back to Lamar for a second, and I know you talked about this on the channel after the Mexico thing, but you guys in the water was unbelievable. Floating in the water in the middle of the show. Oteil and Lamar were out in floaties. It was amazing. I also saw a recent picture of you with Phil, and I just wanted to know about your relationship with him and whether you ever played with him and how that's all going.
Actually, I met Phil, I believe, the first time after Alan Woody passed away. And we were doing a benefit for him at the Roseland Ballroom called One for Woody. And Phil and I actually played together. I got a picture of it, me in a cowboy hat. And Phil, we were standing right next to each other. And he's always been so sweet to me. And then the next time... Actually, no. I think the first time I met him, I got to get my timelines together. I think Oteil and the Peacemakers was touring with Bruce Hornsby, and we were playing the Fillmore West, and Bob came out and Phil came out, and I think Hornsby asked them if they would sit in, if they would play, and it was the first time they played together since Jerry passed away.
Wow.
And Phil was a little skeptical because he plays modulus basses and plays a 6-string. And he was like, well, does the opening band have a 6-string? And they were like, yeah. And he's like, well, do you know if he plays modulus? And I had just been given like 5 of them. And I didn't play all of them, but I would line them up all on stage because it was the first time I had an endorsement. And they were all beautiful and brand new. And so I'm upstairs. It's dark up there because it's before sound check and all this stuff. And I turn around, I just slam into this guy and almost knock him over. And then when I see his face into the light, it's Phil. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, Phil, sorry about that, man. But I heard you were looking for a bass. I said, I got it. 4 modulus 6 strings up there. All you take your pick. So it actually came out in the paper, him playing my bass, and I clipped it, and I still have the picture from that show. But he's always been so sweet to me, man, always. And I just hung out with him when we were in California.
That's what I saw.
And we were at Terrapin Clubhouse, I think it was called, and I was playing drums with him on the Dark Star-a-thon. And it was really good to see him. We actually went over his house and we're hanging with him and Jill, me and Jason Crosby.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm
really
going to see Jason and Graham at the little Terrapin Roadshow thing they're doing in the East Bay next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So, but thank you guys so
if
much.
I could hold on before we go, you guys will have to just indulge me for a second. To be, if 18-year-old me knew I'd be sitting here at the SiriusXM Grateful Dead channel booth finally us together doing this. We haven't done a live one. We've been doing the podcast together. Comes a time since the pandemic, and it's just it chokes me up. It makes me so happy. I love you. You know, you're like a brother to me, and to be able to do this with you.
It is more fun live, just like we thought it would be.
It's a lot better live, yeah. But it's truly an honor, and I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
You too,
and really, just thank you, and thank all of you. And check out our podcast, Comes a Time.
Check out Comes a Time. And check out his podcast, Dented Cans.
And check out
It's
the
really
Ozone.
cool.
And check out everything us on socials and all that.
Check
and,
out his special, Don't Let Me Down. It's the bomb.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
And check out Lovely View of Heaven. And yeah, that's okay. This is about the dead today. But at Mike Fenoya, if you want to follow, and at Oteil. But honestly, dude, thank you. And thank all of you.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
And many thanks to the Grateful Dead channel. Thank you, SiriusXM and Grateful Dead channel.